Mike Broomhead Show. Joining us is the executive director of the America Rising PAC, also spokesperson for the RNC. Her name is Alex Wilkes. I want to get your perspective, Alex, on nationally, outside of Arizona, the race between Martha McSally and Kyrsten Sinema, and the latest about Kyrsten possibly a little fudging on her childhood.
Just a little bit.
So let's hear your perspective on this.
Well, of course, this is a year where we have, where we're mainly focused on the states where President Trump won in 2016, and we have Democratic senators who are running in those states. However, Arizona will be key to Republicans keeping the Senate, even though we currently have two Republican senators. We have a strong Democrat, Kyrsten Sinema, who's going to be running for one of those seats. And so, Martha McSally, her resume goes without saying is just absolutely outstanding. She would make a terrific senator from Arizona. But Kyrsten Sinema is someone who's really tried to not only embellish her childhood and how dire her circumstances were growing up. I think that pretty much every politician in America thinks about how they can sort of craft and weave that story to really tug at the heartstrings of voters. But also, she's someone who has tried to hide, her liberal past. She's trying to present herself, like so many Democrats across the country right now, as a moderate. When in fact, she really does have, pretty liberal positions that she staked out, even just 15 years ago.
Do you think there is going to be, I want to shift topics for just a moment. Do you think there is going to be a backlash about this, the way this hearing has been handled by the Democrats when it comes to Justice Kavanaugh? Do you believe that Americans are starting to see that this is a political attack?
Well, I think, one thing is true. The Supreme Court has always been an animating issue for conservatives and for Republicans. And in the midterm elections, we're, of course, worried that all of those Republicans that came out and voted in the presidential year, that they're going to get complacent and they're going to sit home in 2018, which can't happen if we hope to retain the House and to retain the Senate. So the Supreme Court, though, is a remarkably important issue for Republicans and conservatives. About a fifth of the electorate cited it as the most important issue in 2016 for them. And of those voters, they broke very heavily for President Trump. So I do think that, Republicans are kind of waking up, if you will. This whole controversy has animated them again. It's reminded them again, why it is that they need to participate. And I actually do think you're going to see a little bit of a backlash in the form of Republican enthusiasm.
We are talking with Alex Wilkes. She is the RNC spokesperson, also executive director of America Rising PAC. We just saw statistics yesterday that the Republican Party are seen as more favorably now than they have in the last 7 years. What do you attribute this uptick in popularity to the Republican Party?
Well, I mean, look, the Republican brand following the 2012 elections was pretty low. It was the lowest it's pretty much ever been. I do think that the president sort of reviving it in 2016 in his own image has a little bit to do with that. I mean, I come from northeastern Pennsylvania. That's where I was born, where my family lives. That, of course, is the part of the state that put the traditionally blue state of Pennsylvania over the top for President Trump. And, I have a lot of family and friends up there who were registered Democrats, who voted Democrat pretty much their whole life, and they re-registered as Republicans, now identify with the president. And so I do think that, a lot of that could be attributed to him.
How close do you think you guys have the data at the RNC? How does it look for the Republicans holding on to the House? Do they have a shot to hang on to the House? And prospects look pretty good that they're going to hold the Senate, but even that's kind of up in the air. So do you think that they can hold both houses, and what's it going to take to do so in your mind?
Well, a couple of things. So, of course, the traditional, conventional wisdom is that the party in power, loses the midterms, right? I would say that the conventional wisdom in 2016 took a pretty big hit And so, coming up in these midterms, I think it would be unwise to assume anything. However, I do think that that we are looking at, we're looking at significant enthusiasm among Democrats who, are interested in participating. But that number is also going up for Republicans. So the biggest thing in terms of holding the Senate and holding the House is that Republicans can't sit home. They can't just forget to vote on Election Day, think that somebody else is going to sort of make up their vote. This is truly an election where Republicans have to participate. And I think that as we approach the elections, Republicans are going to remind voters what's at stake, whether it's calls to abolish ICE from among some of the most extreme Democratic candidates who are running out there, to the desire to impeach the president, which has been stated by, not just Democratic candidates who are running, but Tom Steyer, a prolific backer of Democratic candidates. So there's a lot on the line. Fans of the president who might be thinking about sitting home, there's a lot at stake for him, and there's the potential to have these 2 years of his first term, these next 2 years of his first term, really be wrapped up in even more investigations, impeachment proceedings potentially. There's a lot that can sort of get jammed up should Democrats take back the House and especially the Senate.
Alex, we always appreciate the perspective of the RNC, and we love the work you're doing with America Rising PAC, so thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.